You ready?
Who's in there?
Sam.
Okay, so these are Man Lake double mating nukes, styrofoam mating nukes. And the way they come is like this. They have a feeder on both sides. So you can raise a queen on this side and a queen on this side. They have ventilation on both sides and on the bottom as well. So now the way to fix the box, when you get the box, is you have to glue these in. So construction glue or hot glue in the corners, you have to glue these in. Otherwise, you're going to lose them.
As the heat and stuff heats up the box, they'll get looser.
Yeah.
And they'll just fall out if you're not
The box
careful,
will
you lose
expand.
them.
And if you don't glue these in,
They'll fall out.
they'll fall out and you'll leak your bees.
Just
So
like
that one,
they end up being gone.
they're gone. Because we lost them. And the bees leaked out. And it won't work without that. So you have to glue all that stuff up. Then the doors slide up so that it gives access, and you can cut the entrance off by sliding the door down. Best thing to do is to take a push pin and put up under that door in the open position.
So it holds it up.
When you first stock up the nuke with bees, you need to take a piece of tape and stick over that hole. I'm talking that Gorilla tape, something really good, and leave them locked up with that queen cell or your queen for 3 days. If you don't leave them locked up for 3 days, they will abscond. They'll take off on you. I don't know why. So these little frames we made. The frame that comes from Man Lake takes the bottom strip and puts it on the top as well. Okay, there's no place to really put the cell that's going to be good.
That's why we don't use those.
Yeah.
We custom make our own.
So we took a regular size frame, cut about 3/8 to a 1/2 inch out of the middle. We cut the notches out and shortened that frame and cut these notches on the top of the frame. So when you put them in, you have a place that cell will sit right down in. Now the reason you have to notch it is when you put the cell in there, on this part, if it's not notched and you put the top on and mash it down, it has a little tip that sticks up on the end of that cell and it will stick in that top. And then when you pick it up and see where the cell is, you think the cell is gone. So I ended up reselling a bunch of them and then come back and opened it up and thought, well, where'd 2 cells come from? So we started notching them and it sets it down just enough where that top won't do it.
About 1/4 inch.
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah. You can try that. So these little bungee cords are nothing but paracord. The reason why we do the paracord is coons like honey and they like that syrup. So they'll come and they'll figure out a way to pop that top off. Or if you got a bad wind and it heats up a little bit, that top gets loose and you'll find it halfway across over there and it rained in the box. So you just pick up the end of that thing. You can get pretty good and quick at this. And we leave a little bit sticking up, so if you got on gloves, you can just take it right over the top and pull it right back.
Where'd you get the paracord?
Off the internet, off of one of those parachute jumping, whatever, hiking thing.
And where do you get the mini nukes from?
The mini nukes
Man
come
Lake.
from Man Lake.
Okay.
We buy them from those guys on Highway 6 over there. That
Bear Creek, yeah.
They got cases of them over there.
There you go, yeah.
All right, when you stock the box, you take the last frame out. You take about 1.5 cups, 1 3/4, 2 cups of bees at most is all you need. And you pour it in that little slot where it's missing right there. So now the way we do that is we take a regular high body, deep, we put number 8 screen wire on one side. On the other side, we put the number 8 screen wire on half of it and build a door with hinges that flop open on the other half with number 8 screen wire. When you go to shake bees, you can shake them in that box and keep the door closed, and then you can put no more than 10 pounds in one of those things because they'll overheat, and then spray them with a little water. When you go to stock the boxes and you spray them down really good with water so they can't fly, you can open that hinge, scoop the bees up and pour them in here. And then put the top on and make sure you have your tape on because you got to lock them in for 3 days or they'll go away. Put put some syrup in here to feed them, and they'll start pulling out the comb on these. Within about a week or so, you go back in there and all the bees are up on the comb and such, and then you put that last one back in. Because if you wait 2 or 3 weeks and forget, when you come back, they will
be
drop
comb in
comb on that lid. All the way, a whole comb, and you're thinking, well, that was a waste. And she'll lay eggs in it, so you got to cut that off then and put another one in there. So go back in a week or 10 days when the bees all move up and put another comb in. Okay, questions?
When we worked with Paul last year, we used the small nukes. We basically did the same. We did the nukes. We basically did the same thing with 4 frames in there, and then we put the queen cell in there.
Yeah.
Is this more productive where it's quicker?
Yes. The reason why is that I don't need a nuke full of bees to raise a queen. I can do it with a cup and a half of bees. When I'm going to find that queen, I'm looking on one that's 1/2 the size of his, probably 1/3 the size of his regular frame. So I can find that queen quicker. And all I need to see is that she is laying a pattern, and where it's not sealed off, that she's got eggs everywhere she can lay. And she's a good, nice, long, big queen. If she's a little small queen, I usually just pinch her and put another cell in. And that's how you can control the quality. So I can raise probably 3 queens in the same space with the same amount of bees that he's doing with 1. You can do it like that.
That's one of the advantages of this styrofoam box, is because you can start out with such a small cluster that they can maintain their temperature in here really easy because of the styrofoam insulates them. So you don't need a lot of bees to create that incubation on the nest. You only need a couple.
You started off earlier too, huh?
Yeah, and then if something happens, that queen cell dies, you're not losing a whole nuke of bees, you're only losing a cup full of bees.
Yeah, it doesn't take
They tend
hardly
to
any
build
bees.
out super fast in
Yeah.
this thing,
Yeah.
so.
Now, when you transfer them from this box to a deep box,
All we're doing is taking the queen at that point.
And putting in another cell. And they just stay like
So
they are.
this is
Okay.
basically
It just
designed
kinda
as a
so
maintains
you're just
that.
taking the queen and
Right.
putting her in a nuke box.
Right,
or-
correct.
or a hive or whatever we want, and then we put in another cell in that same bunch of bees. Then I don't have to tape them. Now they're established. Then they'll just keep going all throughout the summer or whatever I want to do.
So when we go out to the queen yard to pick queens, we pick queens in the morning, pull queens out, and then in the afternoon we'll go back and replace all of them with queen cells again.
But
Wouldn't
when you-
it be overcrowded?
No.
With the brood that's already drawn out from the other queen?
No.
Because of the cycle, now, because remember, you've taken that queen away after she's been laying, and now the new queen's got to hatch out. It's another 15, 16 days
She's
before
gotta go
she
get
starts to
ready.
relay again.
Okay.
Yeah.
So everything in there is already in the cap stage hatching out, which is the nurse bees, which are going to help
Yeah.
that
The
queen.
other thing you can do to alleviate that is just like anything else, you're going to have little pockets that are weak versus pockets that are real strong. So if you get a weak pocket and you don't have enough, you just take one of these over here with brood and the bees that's real
Brood over there
strong,
and swap one
and
over.
take the one that's weak and stick it
Balance
over
the
here.
box back out.
So you just go down through there every week and maintain. The whole key to being a very good beekeeper and being successful is population control. That's one sentence that you can say. That's it. Is population control. No matter if the box is this size or if it was that square and that tall, it's population control.
But after you've raised your first queen and then you put another queen cell in there, do you close the door off?
Nope,
or-
don't
No,
need
no,
to at
'cause
that
they're
point.
Don't need to.
Once the pheromones have been in here from their first set startup, they
They're
take
going
it off
in.
like it's
Right.
everyday
Yeah.
normal.
So this is just raising queens. This is
That's
starting
That's all.
a nuke.
Not
That's all
starting
it's
nukes,
for.
it's just
to
for raising
raise a
queens.
queen.
You can have it as a backup too. You have a couple colonies, they got back queens. We got queens available, you can get and replace those. And they already made it.
That's right. So when we come
And she's a
upon,
laying queen.
Yeah.
So you can
Yeah.
take a laying queen right out of here and put her right directly into the box that needs queen.
you don't need a
because she's
queen
laying.
cage. You don't need
have
an
to cage
introduction, anything. You can
No.
take a laying queen out immediately and walk over and put it
Stick
in
her right
another
the hive.
hive,
She will walk
and
right
they'll
down
take
in
it.
there like it's
Just
normal.
like that, 99% of the time.
But she has to be laying. That's the whole key. If she's been put in a box and stopped laying even for 24 hours, that's a whole different
Then you
story.
got to introduce her in a cage.
She has to be laying.
Now
You
that's
can't
not
stop
my
her from
idea.
laying.
If you read the old books back far enough, you'll find out those old guys back there,
That's all they
Langstroth
did.
and all of them, they were doing that. But you can't take one out and put her in a cage and go put it on the table and wait a day and come and do it, because that won't work.
That's it.
they shrink up.
Yeah.
And the bees know they shrink up just a little.
We did
So
it. I
once
don't know,
you
we
want to
did
do
it.
that